Right, this is the third episode of this week's Fun Facts with Liam, and those of you, I'm doing quite a few film things this week, to be honest, but this penultimate one is about it. Well, is related to a film that most of you might know with Will Smith called I, Robot, and I, Robot is based on a novel by the probably one of the most infamous science fiction authors of all time, Isaac Asimov, and I've already uh, reviewed his one of his books on my Cracking Reads playlist, and I'll put a link in the description for that one. But he also did one which is where the film comes from, which is what the film's based on, called I, Robot. But that was 20 to 30 years after uh, a play called Rosam's Universal Robots or something like that by Czech author Karel Čapek. And the reason why we use the word, the stereotypical word robot for like a metal man computer thing, is because basically robot is based off the Russian / Slavic / Czech name, which is Karel Čapek was a Czech, so he used the word robot as a reference to basically servant or slave. It's basically the Russian / Czech word for a slave. So that's why we use the word robot, because that was popularized by the likes of Karel Čapek and Isaac Asimov. And so basically, way back when, even in the 1920s and 40s, you know, the whole stereotypical metal robot, computer brained kind of droid type thing, it wasn't always as clear as stereotypically clear cut as that. Basically, years and years back, if you were like off, if you grew up in some kind of Slavic family or whatever, Czech family or Russian family or Polish family or whatever, that would be the general word for a slave. So way back when, that wouldn't have been like, people wouldn't have thought as like a metal, soulless, computerized kind of man thing. It would have been just like someone who was forced, who was in forced labor, or some kind of butler, or some kind of servant or whatever. But most of the time, it was like that word robot or robota was the word for a slave or whatever. So not really much else to say about that, except for that little tidbit that you sci-fi fans may or may not know already. So yeah, yeah, that's basically it for the penultimate episode of this week's Fun Facts with Liam. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and all the rest of that. And I'll be getting to the last one, of course, in a little while. So I hope this was enlightening enough and was sensical enough. So whatever. Yeah. Peace.